I'm sure the vast majority of my audience has watched this video multiple times at a much slower speed, but when you watch the collision between the MV Dolly and the Francis Scott Key Bridge, you'll notice something very strange, but you have to watch it a few times. Over the Florida Maquis Patreon channel, we point out this glaring inconsistency with the official story that, oh, it was just some poor haphazard crew that had a ship that just wasn't well maintained. And as you can see, the lights flickered once and then came back on, and then they flickered again. And then, oh no, they couldn't possibly avert the bridge piling, and then they slam into it and everything collapses. That's the story that everyone is convinced is the truth. It isn't, of course, but as always, we have to reserve the truth, gloves off, for Patreon. It's only $1 US per month, even less if you sign up for an entire year, fully refundable. First 90 days, no questions asked. There's a $5 level over there as well, but these videos, the series of videos that I'm going to do on this, are going to be at the $1 level so that the maximum amount of people can benefit from the training. Those who have signed up at the $5 level have done so basically at their own request. And I do appreciate that. It makes a huge, huge difference in my life. It's unfortunate that this is the case, but it is the case when you are fighting a war, that you have to make certain compromises. Battlefield of the mind. Right now, North Americans are losing it badly, while we are worried about some pimple called P. Diddy. We have a giant sucking chest wound on the East Coast that not even the U.S. Army will hazard a guess as to how long it's going to take to clean it up. And I'm just going to say the quiet part out loud. Massive container ships that travel all over the globe do not lose their ability to be steered in the event of a power loss. Modern vessels have multiple redundancies and backup systems for steering and navigation, ensuring control, even during power outages. If this were not the case, this would have happened, a situation much like it, long ago, multiple times. There probably wouldn't be a bridge standing in a major city around the world. But people believe it. And believe it or not, the reason people believe it, we've talked about over at the Patreon channel for years. It's a certain psychological dysphoria that people get into. But real quick, U.S. Army deploys more than 1,100 specialists to Baltimore, and when asked, they won't even begin to try to hazard a guess as to how long it would take to even begin to formulate a plan to deal with all of that wreckage. This was a major attack on the United States. Everybody last year who remembers the giant plume of smoke that was rising over East Palestine, Ohio, and how many thousands of videos and hundreds of channels talked about that for weeks and about how that was going to be the end of the world. And in a matter of weeks, nobody cared. This port, this major strategic port on the East Coast, is going to be closed indefinitely, probably into the holidays, at least. Seriously, this is such a major event. I'm sure the powers that be in Washington, D.C. have instructed the media to tamp it down, to only talk about it in the most stark of terms and try to find something to turn the page with. This is Brookings, the Brookings Institute. They put out an interview. I'm just going to read a small portion of it. And they only talk about a small portion of what the effect is going to be. There's a lot of attention being paid towards this because of the bridge collapse and the disruption, to both passenger and freight traffic in and around Baltimore and the port of Baltimore. It's not the largest port on the East Coast. That's obviously the port of New York and New Jersey. But it is one of the largest and most significant. 50 million tons of goods valued at $80 billion that go to and from that port every year. Top 20 in tonnage, top 10 in value. Coal, coffee, you name it, everything. And $6.95, I-695 is a tollway. The amount of disruption that's going to be happening because of this is going to be historic. I'm going to even make the allegation that this will have more of an effect on life on the East Coast and in America than even 9/11 did. Dead serious. This is massive. This is a huge, major, strategic port on the East Coast that the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers won't even hazard a guess as to how fast they can get it open. They've already deployed 1,100 specialists. They can't even pull up some of the cars. It's so murky and hazardous down there. They moved immediately from search and rescue to search and recovery, and now it's all salvage. And that the government, the U.S. government, came out immediately, and ruled out any nefarious act. Shows exactly what they want. We know who did this. It's pretty easy to see. There are actors out there who don't want credit. They just want the effect. They don't want credit. They want the effect. And that's kind of something that a lot of Americans don't like to hear, because they're so used to always there being some emotional outlet for events like this that the media will prod along. Well, there's not. If you'd like to understand this, if you'd like to get read in on this detail, this level of psychological operations, join us over at the Patreon channel. It's $1 per month. And here's the best part. Those of you who are still skeptical, fully refundable. First 90 days, meaning $1 the first month. Watch the rest of the videos, $1 the second month. By the third month, if it's not for you, $3 coming right back at you. You're not out anything. But trust me, you're going to want to see the evidence we have. And it goes all the way back to the issue with the Fitzgerald and the McCain. Way back in 2017. Who remembers the two destroyers that all of a sudden lost the ability to navigate? Is this, well, see, they tried to blame it on the Obama Navy back then. I wonder if we call this, what is this, would this be the Biden cargo captains? I mean, who are they going to try to blame? Who are they going to try to blame? Because when you look at the video, the ship isn't drifting. When you look at the video, the ship isn't drifting. It's belching black smoke. I mean, I don't know that you could have done possibly a better job of trying to hit that piling if you had it as your intent. Now, I don't ascribe any intent to the crew, but somebody was in control of that vessel, and it wasn't the crew. But we exposed that as well over at the Florida Monkey Patreon channel. I don't want to give away too much, but I think this video here at this speed probably might wake a few folks up and show them exactly what really happened here. The ship was fine. The ship was fine. Why this bridge? Why when? It all makes perfect sense now. But we'll have to leave it there. And for those of you who have already joined us, the video is already up. For those of you that have already joined us over at Patreon, the video is already posted. It was posted a couple of hours ago. And believe me, you're going to want to see that info. So, once again, we'd love to have you. We are in a war, folks. And I don't care how many beans you have stored up. I don't care how many Band-Aids you have and how well you are at putting them on. I really don't even necessarily care how many ballistic weapons you have and how many bullets you have for said ballistic weapons. None of that will mean a thing if you do not have control of your mind, or if somebody else is better at controlling theirs. they'll just come take it all from you. God bless. Pray for each other. Pray for me. I'll pray for you. Lift each other up. Like, share, subscribe. We'll see you guys next time.